everybody, it is Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. I'm coming to you from a very dark, kind of dank day, so I'm sorry, but I really want to get this filmed and get these layouts put away. I did a total of 32 layouts because I had 2 extras to do plus 30 days of sketches, and yeah, it's pretty thick. So we're gonna go through them the best we can. Barrett's been napping for like an hour and a half, so I guarantee you he's gonna wake up any minute now. So I'm not sure how far we're gonna get into it, but we're gonna try. And I will try to have the sketches up here, and we'll go from there. We'll see how long this goes. I'm gonna start with the 2 that had nothing to do with 30 days of sketches. This one is one I created for the Secret Not Secret Kit Club, and it was using a sketch that Miranda had used, and I am not posting that one because it was specifically for the Kit Club, but that is what this one is for. And I used the gorgeous collection from Paige Evans that I've received from Scrapbook Your Joy because I was guest designing for her with that collection. And then the other one is the one, you know what, I'm gonna pull these a little here. There we go. That's a little better. You can see a little more. And then I also have this one, which was for the Make or Have a Laugh series that I do with the lovely Melissa, and she's Melissa Creates. I love how this one turned out. Of course, there's a big theme of stitching this month, so you'll see that everywhere. If you haven't been watching any of my videos, if you weren't interested in 30 days of sketches, the theme was stitching. That's what's happened. So this one, the funny story is Jackson getting slime on his head and how long it took to wash out. Oh my goodness. This one wasn't based off of anything. It was just me creating. So those are my 2 extra ones that I did. So now let's go into 30 days of sketches. I have ordered them from the first sketch to the last sketch. So they are in order, and I will just go through them. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll list everything off at the end. So here's day 1. I had so much fun. This is the only layout that I didn't stitch on, and I kept saying I was going to go back and stitch on it. It calls for stitching, but I have no idea how to go back and do this part of the stitching with where my title is, and I don't want to mess with it. So I'm going to let this one be. This is the one layout I think that didn't get any stitching on it. This adorable photo of Jackson yawning and Barrett looking at him like, what are you doing? And so it's Chillax with My Bro. This was using my leftovers of the Good Vibes collection from Crate Paper. Nora's singing behind me, so you'll have to forgive the gorgeous singing happening. Here's day 2, and this one was using the Cocoa Vanilla Studio collection. I also got this from Scrapbook Your Joy. Purchased it myself. This wasn't for guest designing. She has it, and so I bought it from her because I love to support Canadian companies. I followed sketches very closely this round, so you can see this one's following it pretty closely, but they're just photos of us sitting on our porch at our old house before we moved, and I was just trying to get some cute photos because of springtime and, you know, all the uncertainty with COVID, but I was just trying to have a fun moment with my family, and that's what this is about. So love how that turned out, and the photos are so cute, and Barrett's trying to escape and they're trying to stop him from escaping, and this photo right here really shows it. It's funny. So I'll go back and do all my journaling about that as well. Here's the one for day 3, and this was again using up some of that Good Vibes collection. I think this killed it. There's my stitching in that one for you to see. I didn't do a ton of stitching in this one. I cheated a little bit and I just did the little bit there, but I did do a shaker pocket. This was for Spiegelman Scraps as well, and photos taken at a park a couple cities away from us. When we were moving, before we were moving, people were looking at the house that we were living in the midst of COVID. That was fun. So it's just kind of documenting that and how we went and explored a park where we could social distance and all of that good stuff, because this is right when it had started and you were almost afraid of everybody, right? Like you didn't know what was happening. So there's that one. Day 4. I am really happy how this one turned out. I was unsure of it, but documenting my birthday when I turned 32, which was last year, I believe, because yes, I'm 33. So this is using that gorgeous collection from Pink Paisley and many more collection. So there's that one. And day 5, one of my favorites for sure. I stitched with some sequins there. That's where my stitching came into place, using a gorgeous collection from Pretty Little Studios. This one I received from Christina from one of my Secret Now Secret kit clips. And I just love it. The photos are of Sean and Jackson baking my cake for Mother's Day, not this year, but last year. So I'm really happy with how this one turned out. It's just so striking to me. And here's some more using the gorgeous collection from Paige Evans and documenting our little mini vacation we went on this year. Again, scrapbook Your Joy is where I received that one from. So the photos are when we first got there and the kids were stretching their legs and so excited to be out. And then the photo of the scenery there. And this one was for day 6. Really happy with that. And then my stitching is just machine stitching. I did it on this piece, the border. I did a lot of machine stitching on my borders, but I also did it right here too for where I'll do my documentation. Day 7 again was a machine stitching day, but there is hand stitching. It's just super subtle. So I had these frames that I wanted to use that were in my stash. This was a great stash busting one. It's Paige Evans, but some of her older stuff, but I hand stitched the frames and then used a few newer things to tie it all in as well. So there's that one. I love this little photo. It's just a funny little sweet photo of Nora and myself. Nora, Francis, please don't. Here is day 7, day 8. I'm not even sure what day we're on anymore. And this one is using the I Am collection from Simple Stories, documenting myself getting a haircut there. So that was really fun. And again, just machine stitching for this one, using a bunch of places. This one was fun because I showed you how I actually cut out a piece so I could use because all the pattern paper is so pretty. And now I've said that and I don't even see it. It's so subtle. I did hand stitch the outside stitching there, and I do remember talking about that. I just forgot that I had done it. So there's that one. Nice, easy one. Here's I want to say this is day 9, so that was day 8. This one's hand stitching, which is awesome. Another photo of myself. I did a couple selfies this round. This one is how I matched my coffee mug and how funny that is. So I got that little giraffe used up. These are all tags from Maggie Holmes. And then it just says, hello, be happy, be kind, and all of that. And again, my journaling will go there when I get the chance. But I just was able to use the sketch and transform it into how I used it with tags instead. Here's day 10. I love this layout. This one is my kids' pajamas from last year. And this is a bit of a stash diving stuff with a few of the newer Halloween stuff that I got kind of combined together. And then again, hand stitching with sequins there, hand stitched around the outside. And I'm happy with how that one turned out. This one was nice, simple, quick, fast. Other than the hand stitching, it was nice and quick. This one I created way back this summer, not realizing I was going to use it for one of the days, and I'm so happy with how this one turned out. Stitched some sequins there. This was for Spiegel Mom Scraps stash. I also used Creative Cuts a stencil that we received, and I used it as or I don't know if it was a stencil. It might have been a cut file that I used as a stencil. Stash busting with my Shop It or Stash It kit. It was my stash kit. I didn't get a bunch of it used up, so I've used a little bit of it here. And these photos are from this year when our new house, and kind of their first adventure in the little kiddie pool, because we had a really warm summer. So that's what that one is documenting. And then wrapping it up before we switch to the next set that I've got going on. This one is day 12, and this is another one of my favorites. So a cut file from Creative Cuts Club. My hand stitching on the rainbow here, and then again follow the sketch really closely, but I'm so happy to have this documented. And what they are the photos of Jackson doing distance learning at our old house for kindergarten, and eventually I'm gonna have hidden journaling, I think, talking about how that went, because it's hard to do distance learning with a kindergartner to begin with, but then add on Jackson's challenges, it just was almost impossible. So that is what this one's about, using that gorgeous collection from, I think it's Daydream, something like that, from Coco Vanilla Studio. So that's day 12. Let's get them switched and wrap up the rest of them. It's still bulky because I did a lot here. Okay, I love this layout. It's whimsical, it's fun, it's playful. I used up the Good Vibes collection, this collection from Maggie Holmes, and I think one more. I did a ton of stash diving and I was so happy. So these are just, I took a photo of myself taking a selfie, and I was trying to take another one and Jackson photobombed me. Love it. Love, love, love it. So I had to document it. Like I said, nice and whimsy. And then following it, this was a sketch from Susanna Lee. So one of my favorite sketches because I love her sketches. And that's how it turned out. I love the whimsical feel to it, a little bit of mixed media, a little bit of machine stitching, and I called it good. Yes, Nora? Okay, can you give me a minute?
Yep.
Thank you. All right, here's one with hand stitching and a big leaf cut file, showing photo of my boots and fall last year. Flips open to another photo and my journaling will go there. Followed this sketch very, very closely. A little bit of sequins splattered around and just had fun playing with the gorgeous, gorgeous collection from Simple Stories called Cozy Day Collection. All right, and then on to day, what is this, 16? I think so. 15, 14, who knows? I love this one. This is one I had done before October as well. I pre-did this one. And I use a awesome stencil I received from the Creative Cuts Club, and I use it to make this sunburst, and I filled in a bunch of stickers from the Good Vibe collection. That's another way I killed it. And then a stash busting one using all my stash and a bunch of my Chamel papers that I kind of have been hoarding. I used a little bit, but not a ton. And then the rest of the Good Vibe stuff kind of scattered throughout, which I love. And of course, it's just me going back to work in late May. We got to go back a little bit before we were full on, and it's just my selfie with my mask on. So I love how that turned out. This one's really interesting. It feels weird to the touch because I actually, if you can see that it's got a border, but in between it there's actually fun foam so that the stickers are out. So this is a fun one to touch. It's all squishy. Okay. I love this one. So thank you again. I misspelled the word here. I didn't misspell it, but I used the wrong one. So I used H-E-R-E instead of H-E-A-R. I knew better. I just was tired and I spelled it wrong. So thank you for letting me know. Always, always, always feel free to tell me when I made a mistake. You will never hurt my feelings. I would love to know so I could get it fixed. So thank you for that. I love this one. A little bit of mixed media, a little bit of machine stitching, following the sketch pretty darn closely, and just playing with a few scraps that I had and kind of some of the dinosaur stuff that I've been hoarding, waiting to document these gorgeous photos of my daughter playing with the dinosaur and going roar. So love, 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 love that layout. I also love this one, even though it took me forever to create because I did all this hand stitching. It was a cat file from Paper Issues, I believe. I did spend a couple days hand stitching it, but I'm so happy with how it turned out. Now, it doesn't look exactly like the sketch really at all, but you kind of see it. It was also combined with Everyday Inspiration, which was a photo of a sunflower. And I kind of, if you watch the process video, I made it work. And that's what it's about. But cute, adorable little photos of my little spider from last year. That was Barrett's first Halloween costume. And he was absolutely adorable. And I love this layout. And I don't care that it took all this time to create it because it's just so cute. Here's another favorite. I really like a lot of layouts, you guys, but this one, because I think it's about Sean and myself, I love it. Cut file from Creative Cuts Club. I've kind of worked through those a little bit too. Again, the collection from Paige Evans that I got from Scrapbook Your Joy. And I love it. I love this layout so much. So a little bit busier than you can see with the sketch, but totally made it work. And something is on Sean's neck. There we go. I don't know. I'm so happy with how it turned out. No idea where I'm going to put the journaling, but I will. I used a cut file that I spray mist, took the cut file away, and then stitched. So hand stitching and machine stitching. The border is very popular. I did that a ton. I just seem to do it a lot now. So that's there. This one had a ton of hand stitching, and I'm proud of this one. It's a little bit different. This is probably the one I really played with, I think, the most, so that's good because I didn't really play a whole lot with the sketches this round. That needs to get glued down. This is an older photo of Jackson from even before it was officially preschool. It was kind of like just his daycare, but they called it a whatever they called it. So it was school, but it wasn't. And I love, he's all cute. He's got little Thomas shoes and his Batman sweatshirt, and he was just adorable. So that is what this one's about. It goes in his school album. Tons of stars used up, which I love. All right, this is a good one. Hand stitch that little fox. Don't recommend it. It was, the lines were too thin to hand stitch them unless you have a smaller needle maybe. But I got it done and I love it. And it again is using the gorgeous collection from Simple Stories, which is the Cozy Days collection. I kind of picked a few pieces out and I'm really happy with how this one turned out. Simplistic, which sometimes is a good thing. And a photo of my sister and I when we could visit because we didn't have to cross a ferry and COVID and all of that. So there's that. This one is probably the funniest one that I have. Love this one. So I follow this one again pretty closely. See the theme there. These are really fun photos of Jackson being silly. Right, very end of school, beginning of summertime. So, you know, it's just so funny, and this is just so him. So this is actually going to go in his album that kind of documents his personality, because this encapsulates him at the age of 6 just perfectly. And I'm using the gorgeous collection from Chamel, Field Trip Collection, which I received from Christina from the Secret Not Secret Kit Club. Here's this year's pajamas, which when I did day 10 and I talked about last year's pajamas, I was talking about how adorable my kids' jammies were this year and how I had to get it done. So I managed to get it done, and here are my kids. I've got a Ghostbuster, a skeleton, and a Captain Octopus. And I did my hand stitching on the triangles there, used a few little bits and pieces that I got from the new collection. This is new pattern paper, that is old pattern paper, and then the crepe paper that I used. Love, simplistic but adorable. We're getting so close, you guys. This one, I have to tell you guys, I was not looking forward to this sketch. I used it, I liked the sketch, but when I went to go create it, I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. I pulled out the collection from, what is that collection called? I cannot remember. It completely just escaped my mind, but it's this one, the one that's got all this pretty stuff. And so I used the little frames here, and then Christina was like, you could hand stitch the squares, so I went ahead and did that, and then that helped me. I went ahead and I used the actual front part of the 6x8 cover, and I used that to make my little squares. I had centered it kind of to the right, so on the left I just did a nice little pop there. And then the best part about the whole thing is this photo of Nora and I that I took, I think it was last year or the year before, but I just love this photo. So black and white photo with all this color just works perfectly. All Heart collection, that's what it's called. So there's this one. I love this one. There is machine stitching, as you can see, for that one. I then had some more All Heart, so I'm almost done. This is the other collection I almost killed, and so I went ahead and did this one. These are from this year when we went to the beach, and I love these photos. They're fun and playful and bright and happy and all of that. Went into my titles section in Pinterest and chose sunshine with a little hurricane. Mostly talks about Nora, but it fits all three of them. And I just followed the sketch this way and then added a little bits and pieces of it to really make it a little bit more mine. And I'm so pleased with how this turned out, and got little bits and pieces used up and some of these clear stickers, which make me happy. And again, the machine stitching, closer to the end of this series, I was falling behind, so I couldn't do a whole lot of hand stitching. Here's some more. This is Spiegelmom Scraps as well, and this is using the Simple Stories, not Simple Stories, this is the Simple Stories collection, that fall collection that I've been talking about, Cozy Days. And a family photo of the kids from Thanksgiving, and it flips open, and there's Nora with little Charlie, and then that's Jackson and Jayla. So love how this one turned out. So simplistic, but so striking. And I I don't do that a lot, but when I do it, I like when it's impactful like this. So I'm really pleased with how that layout turned out. And then you go all crazy and wild. And that's just what I do. So this was, I think, finishing and basically killing that collection from a Willow Lane, which is awesome. And this was when they went to the fairy garden. So after, you know, we were complete under lockdown and things opened up a little bit, the kids went and we had some fun with Cousin, where we knew that they were following the same procedure. So we knew that we were safe to do so, hang out with them. And that's what that's about. All sorts of stuff. I kind of shrunk the sketch in and then added my own. But I got this little unicorn used up, some sequins, and a bunch of butterflies. So love, 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 love. Let's see here. This is a fun one too. This one again, machine stitching. I did do some hand stitching on this cut file that I received from Creative Cuts Club. I got these awesome triangles finally used up from Escape the Ordinary collection from Pink Fresh Studio. Everything else is just stash busting, including my background that I've had for a long time in my stash, and I was actually thinking I would use as like a Christmas layout, but it's perfect. I love this. Old photos. This is when my son turned 4 and he'll be 7 in January. So these are older photos and I'm happy to have them documented. All right, guys, we're in the home stretch. I know this has been a longer video. Here is, again, simplistic but striking. This is not how I expected this layout to go whatsoever, but I'm very happy with it. The colors were chosen because for Off the Board this month, we were all doing a wine theme, and I felt like these colors were the different shades of wines that you could drink. So that's what I started with, and then I struggled with what to go with, and so I ended up with these photos. Teeny tiny photos because they were supposed to go in a toddler's notebook, but they are of the bouquet of flowers that Sean got me for our anniversary 1 year, and I love them. And he wrote on a little Project Life card for me, and I still have that. I actually tried to make it fit in this layout and I couldn't, so I let it be. And I'm just letting everything kind of stand out and be on its own. A few little bits added from some Vicki Boutin chipboard stickers. Everything else is the Auburn Lane collection, minus the thickers, of course. And my craziest layout, probably my least favorite of the whole thing. I did this one also before October. I was trying to use up these stickers and I was just trying to think of a cool way to make them work. They are cool. There's lots of different things I could have done with it. I was being stubborn and I wanted to make it work, so I went ahead and made it work. These are Mother's Day photos from this year. This year has been absolutely crazy, as you are all well aware, so I am just going with it. This is how 2020 feels like to me. And it works, you guys. Not every layout has to be fabulous. So not my favorite layout, probably my least favorite of the whole series, but I don't hate it, and that this is not one that will get re-scrapped. This is going away today in the layouts. And you guys, we've made it. Here is day 30. And I'm very happy with this layout. I didn't do as much hand stitching as I wish I had done. I wish I had gone in with machine stitching and did all sorts of stuff, but I literally created this the afternoon before it was due, and so I didn't have time to do such. I love it. These are photos of Barrett, not his first beach trip, but basically his first time really understanding it and having fun, and he loved it. He had fun running around and just being free, so I titled it My Ocean Child. Used up the little bit that I had left over. Again, this was using up some stuff from the stash kit that Daisy and I had done last month, which was awesome. Got just a little bit more inked out of there, and that's always a nice thing to do, and I'm super happy with it. So that's it, you guys. I made it. You made it. So many of you played along every single day, and I'm going to try to list you all off, and I'm going to forget some of you, and please forgive me. We are starting with Moira and Crystal because they were joining with me right from the get-go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You ladies have joined with me, I think, for the last 2 series, and if Crystal I know has joined even longer than that. I love you, so thank you for being here again. I then started a Facebook group and all this other stuff that blossomed. And within that, we ended up with JQ Crafty, MK Gunn, Ronnie Sue Scrapper, Kathy from Scrappy Kathy. We had She's Crafty, and oh dear, I'm losing it. Christina joined us on Facebook every single day. Daisy tried to join in as much as possible. Jen from Kay's Mom tried to join in as much as possible. Kelsey, I know, joined in a couple days. Vanessa Bell joined in a bunch of days. And her layouts are amazing. I love Vanessa, so make sure you go check her out. I love all of you, but she just happened to stick out in my mind a little bit. Brittany Nicole from Storybook Scrapbooking, she joined us, I think, every single day. We also had Galaxy Girl, Jeanette playing along, and I actually thinking back, she's joined us every single day. And who am I forgetting? I'm so sorry. I'm totally spacing someone right now too, and I know you're a little bit behind, but I know that you're catching up, and I have linked all your layouts in the playlist, and your name has escaped me, and now I feel just horrible. But you guys, thank you. And that's just YouTube. If I go on and I tried to list off everyone on Instagram, like Amber and Jen, and let's see here, I had Marta play along, we had Liz and Virginia, and there's just so many of you. And then the Facebook group started, and people like Tammy and a bunch of other people that sometimes feel a little bit more safe joining in and stuff like that. You all joined in, and it's amazing. And I can't believe what this has blossomed into. So from the bottom of my heart to every single person, thank you for making this month amazing. If you are in the Facebook group, check in on Sunday, because I'll have a challenge and we'll get going with that. And if you've loved the series and you are wanting to know when more of it will be available, the answer is March. If you come back in March, hopefully you are here throughout that, but March we will have series 7 up, so stay tuned for that. Please let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns. Just let me know down below. If you are wanting to check anything out, the playlist is linked below. The Facebook group is linked below. And if you go to Instagram and you want to search and see what some people have participated and played along with, use hashtag 30DSCBL6. I think I got it all, guys. I know this is a longer one. Thank you. And I'm going to take a break. So you actually are going to see me tomorrow. Actually, I'm recording this. You'll see me later today, or you've already seen me. But I think I'm taking a break for Sunday the 1st, but you'll see me on Facebook. I'm going to take a couple days off at the beginning of this coming week, but you'll see me towards the end of the week for sure. All right, everyone, that's it. Bye.